Hello everybody and welcome to WEBfactory 2010. In this video tutorial we're gonna talk about how to use template pages in WEBfactory Smart Editor. Now, the template pages in Smart Editor are the pages displayed by the pop-up windows. They can contain information or other controls. The pop-up windows are supported by a range of controls categories like labels, indicators, ISA symbols and primitives. Now, let's see how to create a simple template page pop-up. So for this, we're gonna create a new project by clicking the new button. And in this new project, we're gonna add a template page. And to add this template page, we need to click the Add Template Page button from the ribbon, from the Project tab of the ribbon. So I'm gonna click Add Template Page, and as you can see, under my page inside my Explorer, I can see my newly created template page. Our template page has several important properties, and we can see them if we select the template page right over here in the Property Inspector. And I'm gonna expand all these tabs so we can go through these properties. The Smart Editor allows the user to modify the size of the template page, to modify the background of the template page, and to make it stretch so it will fit the size of our pop-up window. We can also set the name of the template page and the signal prefix. And we can also set to use this page's name as a signal prefix. So for instance, I can use this name to be my signal prefix instead of inputting over here. Now, the last option, and one of the most important options of the template pages, is the template parameters. Now, inside this window we can create several types of template parameters right over here, but I'm gonna get back to this a little bit later. So for now, let me show you how to use this template page. Now that we've got our template page in the project, we must create a control that will show the template page. Now, inside the page and not in the template page, I'm gonna go to the toolbox and drag up on this page a label. So I'm gonna go to Labels and select Text Label. Now this label will trigger the pop-up that will display my template page, and I'm gonna make it nice and big and put it over here in the middle of our page. Now, if we select the text label control and go to the Property Inspector over here, our last category will be template. And inside our category, we can see that we have several options, like parameter values, which allows us to set the parameter values for the parameters previously set inside the template page. So this option works in direct connection with our parameter values over here from our template page. The next option is the Show Template checkbox. Now, the Show Template checkbox enables or disables the pop-up behavior of this button. Now, the template over here allows us to choose what template page the pop-up should display. So we can select our template page. As you can see, we have it over here. Now, the template modality allows us to choose how to display the pop-up, and we can use it as modal. The pop-up window will appear on top of the page and it will block access to the elements behind it until it's closed, or modeless. And in this case, the pop-up window will appear on the top of the page, allowing the user to see and click on the elements behind it. So I'm gonna go with modeless for now. And of course, we also have the template title, which is the title for the template page. We'll enable the pop-up behavior by checking the Show Template checkbox over here, and we're gonna go with the modeless display modality. Now, let's press Run and see what happens if we click our label. Now, we can see we have our label over here on the page, and we have no contents inside our page or inside the label, but if we click the label, you can see our pop-up template has been opened. So, as we talked earlier, this display mode is modeless, so we can actually click and see what's under our template. If I make this window bigger, you can see I can move the template page and I can click again to open it again, whatever I want. So this is modeless display mode. Now, we can see that the template system works in Smart Editor just like we have expected, and I'm gonna close this and go on with setting up the parameters to be passed. Now, before we go on, I have added on my project page all the control types that can handle templates, and I have here the label that you've seen earlier. I have an indicator LED, I have motor from the ISA symbols over here, and I have this primitive which comes from the shapes category of the ribbon bar. To use the parameters in template pages, the template page must have parameters defined. Now, to define parameters for the template page, select this template page and go to the Property Inspector Template Parameters. And I'm gonna click and open the Edit Items window. Now, to define a new parameter inside our template parameters window, click on the Add Signal Parameter Definition. Now, this button, as you can see, has a drop-down symbol which hints us on the fact that we have a lot more options than this single one displayed over here. So we can select Signal Parameter Definition and add this parameter to our template parameters, and this one passes the signal name as a parameter. We can select the Symbolic Text Parameter Definition, and this one passes a symbolic text as a parameter. Now, this option, this type of parameter is used to create placeholders. We can also select alarm group parameter definitions, and this type of parameter passes an alarm group as a parameter. Now, this is used when the template page holds an alarm viewer or an alarm online control. And we also have the alarm type parameter definition, and this one passes the alarm type as a parameter, just like the alarm group parameter definition did with the alarm groups. Now, this one is also used when the template page contains an alarm viewer or an alarm online control. Now, I have added one of all these available parameters inside my template parameter window, and I'm gonna start naming and adding default values to them. So for the signal parameter definition, I'm gonna enter the name signal parameter, so we can know which one is the one dedicated to passing the signal name as a parameter. And as a value, I'm going to use set.2, but this is a default value. Remember that we're going to alter this value later in the controls that will trigger our template window. Now, the second parameter, I'm going to name it symbolic parameter, so I can know that this one passes the symbolic text as a parameter, and I'm gonna browse for a symbolic text from my demo server. And I'm gonna take the first one because it doesn't really matter right now which one we use. And we're gonna go next and name the alarm group parameter definition as alarm group parameter. And we're gonna select a default alarm group, and I'm gonna go with the first one over here from the demo database. And I'm gonna do the same with the last parameter, the alarm type parameter. And I'm gonna select an alarm type from our server. Now, we have set up our template parameters, and I'm gonna click OK to confirm this setup. To make use of these parameters, I'm gonna go ahead and add some controls to our template page, and I'm gonna start with the extended numeric display. And I'm gonna place it over here and go on and add a signal information label, and we can find this one under the label category. I'm gonna place this one too on the window, and the next one will be a simple label that will stay right over here. Now, our last control will be the alarm online control, and I'm gonna place it in our page next to our controls. Now that we have our controls on the page, let's set them up to display our parameters instead of signals and symbolic text. And I'm gonna select my first two controls, and I'm gonna go into the signals category in the Property Inspector and browse the signal name for our parameter. And as you can see, we have the signal name parameter with its default value set.2 ready to be selected. Now, we're gonna do the same for the WF label, but this time we're gonna go in the general and use the symbolic text parameter as symbolic text for our label. For our alarm online control, we're gonna go into the configuration settings, and we're gonna play with the group filters and type filters. I'm gonna click on the Group Filters button, and over here in the Edit Item windows, I'm gonna create a new alarm group filter. And this alarm group filter will contain a group name, but in our case the group name will be the alarm group parameter that we have defined. And you can see its default value, which is production KR201. Now I'm gonna select this and click OK, and I'm gonna do the same for the type filters. So we're gonna create a new alarm type filter and select our dedicated parameter for passing alarm types. And I'm gonna click OK to confirm. Now our setup is complete on the template page side, but we're gonna go into the page and we're gonna play a little bit with our controls to make them pass the correct information. I'm gonna select my label, which is the first control that we have added at the beginning of these video tutorials. And I'm gonna go into the template section of our property inspector and click on the parameter values. And as you can see, we have the parameter values that we have already defined inside our template page over here. And we have the default values set up, and we're gonna leave these default values as they are for this first control. Now we're gonna move on to our second control, which is the WF indicator 1, the LED indicator. And we will want to set up this control to display our template, the one we have created, and we're gonna leave this display modality to modeless, just like for the label. And we're gonna click the parameter values. Now for this second control, I'm gonna change the parameter values just to make the difference between our controls and to see how we can pass different values to the same template pages that we have already set up. So I'm gonna select a different signal from our demo server. I'm gonna select a different symbolic text, a different alarm group over here, and a different alarm type parameter. Now I'm gonna do the same setup for all my controls that we have here, and I'm gonna come back when all my setup is done. Now the setup for the rest of the controls is complete right now, and we're gonna click run and see how our project behaves when passing these parameters to our template page. So I'm back with the project loaded into my browser, and let's test these controls and see how all these template pages and parameter passing behaves. So I'm gonna click the label control. And just like we have expected, we can see our control has passed the proper parameters to our template page. And remember, we have only one template page defined here, but we can see a lot of information if we click on these different controls. Now our second control displays another signal value and another signal name. You can see we have the alarm count signal and its value over here. Now the symbolic text is different, and we also have different alarm types and alarm groups displayed in our alarm online control. Our third control behaves just like it's supposed to do. It displays the sensor 1 signal and this different symbolic text. But as we can see, we have no alarms right now in the defined groups and types. And the fourth control works perfectly. It displays our temperature 2 signal with its value, it displays the selected symbolic text and the proper alarm types and alarm groups. So you can see how we can set up a single template page with these controls and pass different parameters from different controls that launch this template page. Well, this is all for today, folks. I'm gonna meet you next time when we're gonna talk about more cool features of WEBfactory Smart Editor, so stay tuned.